Since the Star Wars Battlefront beta ended about a week ago now, one of the major complaints was that people didn't think that the game would have enough content to last them through the entire lifespan of the title. Luckily for us though, we have some leaked information from DICE that includes all of the multiplayer game modes, maps, heroes, star cards, everything. But today, in this video, we're going to be taking a look at all of the game modes and all of the maps that will be included in the final release of Star Wars Battlefront.
Press start.
Now, as I mentioned, this video will just be touching on the multiplayer game modes and the maps that will be included in the final game. There is a hell of a lot more information in this document that I'm looking at right now. That will be linked in the description if you want to go and have a look. There are some spoilers for things that DICE haven't actually announced yet. They are blacked out on the document, but we kind of already know what these multiplayer game modes are going to be. We saw them on the front page of the beta, so we know the titles, but now we actually have the descriptions of what's going to happen inside those titles. Some of them we already knew, some of them we've already played, but let's go. So first up we have Walker Assault. This is the one that we played in the beta, but the description here reads, battle over the massive AT-ATs in this mobile attack and defense game. The Empire has deployed powerful AT-ATs in order to once and for all wipe out the rebel resistance. To combat this powerful threat, the rebels have hidden away multiple uplinks that need to be defended at all costs. These uplinks will call in Y-Wings to bomb the AT-ATs. It is only during the bombing raid that the AT-ATs can be damaged. If one or more of the AT-ATs reach their destination, the Empire will have won. If all of the AT-ATs are destroyed, the victory will belong to the rebels. Now, as I said, this is the one that we managed to play in the beta, and it's got quite a lot of feedback. DICE are working on the developments for this game mode, so this is probably going to be one of the big ones. Next up is Supremacy. I like the idea of this game mode because it basically takes the concept of Conquest and Chain Link from Battlefield and molds it into one and then adapts it slightly. So you have the 5 or 6 or however many conquest points around the map, and then you have to capture them in a certain order. Although whereas in Chain Link you can just capture them in any order, you can capture A, then D, then B, whatever, you can do it in any order you want. Supremacy, you have to do it in a certain order, so you have to go A, B, C, D, E, or if you're on the opposite side, E, D, C, B, A. That's my English skills for you right there. So I like this idea, because then it technically means that there's always a front line where action is taking place, kind of like a real battle. I think this is something that I kind of touched on as a World War II game mode as a concept in a video I did ages ago, where it's almost like a D-Day situation where you have a front line and you have to push the front line back to their enemy's base, and that when you get there, that's when the game ends. But anyway, the description for this reads, the front line combat between the two control points. Rebels and Imperials are fighting over control points on the planet. By capturing the hostile control point while defending your own, the enemy will be pushed back as their next control point is revealed. The side that captures all control points wins. So basically this description just goes over exactly what I just said before it. But anyway, let's move on to the next one. Drop Zone. This is again another one that we managed to play in the beta, and what was probably my favourite one out of the two that we got to play. This is more infantry based than the other two. So, fast-paced action with a single objective. Escape pods that are crashing down on the planet. Rebels and Imperials must claim them. The side that claims the most escape pods will win. This is kind of a twist on the King of the Hill game mode, so what you have to do is when the drop pod comes in, you go in, you activate it, you capture it, and then you have to defend it for a certain amount of time. I think it's either 30 seconds or 60 seconds, I can't quite remember. So it's kind of like a King of the Hill domination sort of thing. Very infantry based, a lot of fun, I have to say. Next up we have Droid Run. Now I don't think this is one that we've actually seen before, so I'm just going to jump in and read the description straight away. Fast-paced action with 3 moving objectives. 3 droids are moving around the planet. Rebels and Imperials must fight to claim them. The side that claims and controls all 3 droids will win. I kind of don't know what to make of this, because it kind of seems like, you know the D objective on Golmud Railway, how if you capture it, it moves? Kind of like that, but it always moves. I don't know, it kind of seems new, kind of seems different. I'm not entirely sure what to think of it. Again, it's something that we haven't actually seen before, so maybe it's going to be amazing, we don't know yet. Next up we have Cargo. Run and gun while stealing cargo away from the enemy. Rebels and Imperials are fighting over possession of cargo. Infiltrate the enemy base, steal their cargo and bring it to your own base. Meanwhile, prevent the enemy from doing the same. The side that controls the most cargo at the end of the round will win. Okay, so I think I can make a direct comparison between this and something that we have in Battlefield Hardline, Blood Money. Now, the only difference with this being that there doesn't seem to be a cargo pile in the middle of the map like we have with Blood Money. There's a big pile of money in the middle of the map that everybody takes from. So maybe this is kind of an adaptation of that, but adapted to make it less, how can I put it, cluster-y, I think, is the best way to put it. Because when you have that central point, everybody's attacking that central point, and especially in Battlefield Hardline, where it's normally in a small enclosed room, it didn't really work out for the best gameplay experience. So hopefully this is an adaptation, an improvement on what Blood Money was in Hardline. Hopefully it's going to be pretty good. Next up we have Fighter Squadron. This is something that we've seen trailers of, and you can basically just compare this to air superiority from Battlefield, but it has a few little twists. It has some objective bases to it. So, fly the starfighters and dogfight with the enemy. Rebel and Imperial starfighters struggle for control of the skies. The side that takes out the most opponents, both human and CPU controlled, as well as the escaping troop transport ships, will win. So it's kind of like TDM domination, where you have to get as many kills as possible within a time limit, but you can get more kills by destroying these troop transport ships. I don't know what to make of this. I kind of, especially on PC, the flying kind of seemed a little bit weird, a little bit janky, on the PC at least. From the beta, so this isn't really something that I'm going to be playing a lot, although mind you, I'm not a big flyer. I don't fly a lot in Battlefield, especially. I never touch the air superiority mode at all, apart from when I was trying to unlock the UCAV. God, that was a painful week. But anyway, it's not something I'm interested in. It might be something that you are. Okay, so the third last one now, we have Hero Hunt. Play as a single hero and go up against a squad of enemies. One player becomes the hero and takes on a squad of enemies. If the hero is defeated, the next player is up. Whoever defeats the most enemies will win. I really, really like this idea. So basically, it's one versus everybody. Now, this kind of seems like a party style of game. You know, like you have gun game and the other kind of things. So you have one hero, so Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Princess Leia, Boba Fett, one of them, or I think there's a couple of other ones, the Emperor as well. So you have one of them versus everybody, and everybody else is trying to work against to try and kill the hero. And once the hero dies, a new hero is selected from somebody on the opposite team, and it carries on. I don't really think that we've seen something like this before. There might have been something like it in the previous Battlefront. I haven't actually played that much. Please don't shoot me. But it looks kind of fun. Maybe more of a party-style casual game mode. We'll see how it plays out when the game finally releases. Okay, the penultimate one here, we have Heroes versus Villains. This looks very interesting. Kind of an epic scale of battle, if you like. A round-based combat where all heroes go up against each other. Rebel and Imperial heroes engage in combat. If a hero is defeated, the player will return as a trooper. If one side takes out all the enemy heroes, they win the round. The side that takes the most rounds will win. I'm kind of not sure what to make of this, because from the description here, it kind of seems like we're going to have heroes and troopers at the same time. But then it kind of looks like a round-based thing, kind of like what we have in something like Counter-Strike, where you have a set amount of rounds in one match. So maybe it's once you die, you're out, although it says that you return as a trooper. It's kind of confusing, this description, but it's going to be heroes versus villains, so Darth Vader and the Emperor versus Luke Skywalker and Han Solo, for example. It's going to be pretty epic, quite a rich Star Wars experience, I think this one's going to be. And the last one, we have the very classic game mode, which has been adapted to be called Blast. Basically, a classic battle to the death without objectives. A skirmish is taking place between Rebels and Imperials. The side that takes out more enemies will win. And there's actually a star here that just says Team Deathmatch. This is just Team Deathmatch. You kind of got to include it in any first-person shooter. It's just something that everybody understands, everybody can play. It's just something that people can grasp onto and play, even if they haven't got much experience in playing a first-person shooter title with an objective. So that's all the game modes out of the way. This video is getting pretty long, so I'm going to try and rush through the maps pretty quickly here. It looks like they're doing the maps a little bit differently, because on this spreadsheet here that I'm looking at, there isn't actually any maps listed. Instead, we have planets. So for the planets, we have Hoth, Tatooine, Endor, and Sullust. Now, out of these 4, we've managed to play 3 of them so far. We've played on Hoth, we did the survival mode on Tatooine, that was also in the beta, and we've done Sullust. We haven't yet managed to play Endor, which is something I'm very, very excited to be playing on. But I think what they've done here is, instead of what we have with the Battlefield titles, where we have a set number of maps, say 10 for example in the base game, and then we have say 10 game modes, normally in Battlefield those 10 game modes would be tried to be shoehorned into the map. So you'd have an area of the map for Team Deathmatch, you would have the whole map for Conquest, you'd have a middle section for Rush, and so on. So one map would cater to all objectives. What it seems that they're doing here is all they're doing is just saying, right, we're going to have planets, and then we'll design specific maps for each game mode. This, if this is true, then this is going to be awesome, because one of the downsides of Battlefield is that a map might be fantastic for Rush, or a map might be fantastic for Conquest, but terrible for Team Deathmatch. So because each map is now going to be tailored specifically to the game mode, it means that every match and every game mode is going to be a good experience. It might not be perfect, but it's going to be at least a decent experience. So overall, I hope this answers your question, is Battlefront going to have enough content? If you want to hear me talk about the other content that this game's going to have, like the blasters, the star cards, and all of that jazz, let me know in a comment below and like the video if you enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, as I said, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. I've been MajorMeteor, and I'll catch you in the next one.